and Connect, a Gaming Malta initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the European Fantasy Sports Summit, chaired by Ivan Filetti, Head of Operations and Business Development, Gaming Malta.
Good morning. Guys, it's fantasy sports. Good morning. We need some energy in the room. I know there's been a problem with coffees this morning, but I'm sure we had time to get our coffee kicked. Did we? Not yet. We'll work on that. Good morning, everyone. And really, what a morning it is. The opening of SiGMA, the first European Fantasy Sports Summit, the first conference of the day, and, you know, the number 23 will always hold special significance for me. I was born on the 23rd of June. My son Harry was born 2 months ago on the 23rd of September. The first European Fantasy Sports Summit is today, the 23rd of November. And hopefully one day we will all celebrate the 23rd edition of the European Fantasy Sports Summit. The objectives of having EFSS is very clear. A real dedicated event to fantasy sports hosted at the home of gaming excellence, which is Malta. At Gaming Malta, we want to continue supporting key gaming verticals, and the FS is actually one of these verticals which we want to continue promoting, enhancing, and shaping the agenda for the sector. We want EFSS to be not only a must-attend event for the industry professionals, but also for those who want to know more about the concept of the FS and its compelling role in the gaming markets. In fact, at this stage of the summit, I want to share some insights from key stakeholders worldwide. Paul Lieberman, co-founder and chief operations officer at Draftees, has this to say about the EFSS.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Lieberman, co-founder and chief operating officer here at DraftKings. We are very honored to be part of the first ever European Fantasy Sports Summit here in Malta. This past January, DraftKings was granted a controlled skill games license by the Malta Gaming Authority, which allowed us to deliver our innovative daily fantasy sports products to European sports fans. We greatly appreciate the MGA's proactive approach on a new and emerging category like ours, and agree that a sensible classification can only happen if regulators and policymakers take the time to review and understand new developments in gaming. Since receiving this license, we have launched our product in Ireland, Austria, Germany, and of course in Malta. Malta is the core of the remote gaming sector globally and responsible for working with authorities to enhance the ecosystem surrounding the gaming industry as a whole. Fantasy sports is one of the main verticals they are actively promoting and shaping the agenda for an international scale. Because of their support and help, the fantasy sports industry is growing. The diversity of sports being played is increasing as consumers are learning about new sports, teams, and athletes worldwide. That's why the European Fantasy Sports Summit is so important. This conference is bringing together a global group of executives like yourselves and providing an international platform solely focused on the fantasy sports industry. We look forward to being part of this conference and the conversations that will be had here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Paul. So, from the US to Malta and as far away as India, DFS continues to make inroads and being an exciting proposition. So, today serves to engage all stakeholders from the ecosystem. In fact, we also had a conversation with Luca from Pohang in Malta and Amit from Tech Racers in India, and this is what they have to say.
it comes to user engagement, there is nothing better than fantasy sports for people all across the globe. It's a phenomenon which has taken over the world in a massive, massive way.
The US is where it's most established and has been for a while. Some of the attendees of this conference are actually hailing from US states or are US companies which are penetrating Europe. The market, I definitely don't think that we're at the level of the US, but hopefully we'll get there.
When it comes to European markets, I think fantasy sports are just picking up. It's at its infancy, and with companies like ours providing support, I believe the future for fantasy sports is exceptionally amazing.
What I want to see is fantasy sports to become what poker was 10 years ago, to become what casino is nowadays, maybe.
Malta is the mecca of gaming industry when it comes to European markets. Now the initiative that they have taken around DFS is something that should be appreciated. That is something that should be recommended to everyone.
I think what Malta did with gaming is a very nice model. You have quite a few companies which have moved to Malta or started in Malta over the last year or so.
The support that Malta provides, it's something that is been missing in not only in European markets, but I would say across the board. The best part about a summit like this is that it is targeting a single market, which is the European markets, for a special niche, which is fantasy sports.
I think it's very important. It's important for Malta.
Overall, this is a really amazing initiative and something that we are very proud to be associated with.
So, our agenda today will kick off exploring the current state of the Union for the sector. We'll also look at the European perspective. We'll also then delve into harnessing the Millennials Challenge, DFS and sports organizations, the legal outlook, and also we'll have the Honourable Silvio Schembri, who will be joining us too. In the afternoon, in the breakout room just behind the stage, we'll be having more in-depth insights sessions, plus also we have space for DFS startups. So, a packed agenda, let's play to win, and the European Fantasy Sports Summit is no longer a fantasy. Enjoy, guys. Thank you.
Ben is like you. He loves to share his passion for football with friends. But till now, arguing about football was a dead cause. With fantasy football, Ben can prove that he knows the game better than his friends and even win their money. How does he do this? Well, it's very simple. Every week, Ben carefully studies players with a view to building his own team. He picks 11 players for the field and up to 6 players for the bench. Then he watches the real matches on television, and whenever one of his players makes an action, it will immediately be transformed into points. Ben can follow the score of his virtual team on his second screen, at home, in the street, with his in-laws, and in fact anywhere he likes. As a manager of his own team, he can sub in or out players if he feels they're not performing well or if they're injured. If Ben has a better score than his friends, he wins more than pride. He wins money. No more chit-chat. Ben can finally prove that he knows more about football than his friends.